Hey guys, welcome back to MuscleMentor.net. I'm Brad Hull and this is Justin Harris. And we're going to talk a little bit about genetics. You always hear that term thrown around like, oh, this person has great genetics, or genetics are needed to be a bodybuilder and all this, that, and the other. And we're going to kind of try to break down what exactly that means when people throw out the term genetics.
You know, what does genetics mean?
Bodybuilding genetics.
There isn't one thing. There's a lot of variations of genetics. There's shape, which is a number one thing. And that's the most important thing. If you have shitty bicep insertions, you have shitty quad insertions, you have an odd structure, you're screwed. Follow your passion. You might even turn pro, but you're not going to. It sucks, but everyone's born with what they're born with. I mean, some people are born brilliant, some people are born very unintelligent, some people are born 7 feet tall. That's something you're stuck with. You pursue your passion, but if you don't have the structure and the shape, it's not happening.
It's gonna be harder, yeah.
But that's not the only genetics. There's response to chemicals, which is huge, and people really don't believe that. It's crazy. They really don't believe it. But I've worked with a lot of people over a lot of years, and a lot of top bodybuilders, a lot of pros, and I don't talk about it because people want to believe what they want to believe. But your first cycle, when you gain 7 pounds, doing everything perfect, is the same cycle.
A lot of these guys.
The same cycle these pros did, gaining 70 pounds, not doing everything perfect. And that's a big thing. I think I see it on, even Get Big, I've seen it come around on where people are talking about, genetic response to chemicals and that, and I think are finally realizing some guys touch anything and they just become, super responders. But that's not all there is. There's mental genetics, and it's just a mental toughness. Like what Ronnie Coleman, Chad Nichols asked him if he, the first time they worked together, about cheating on his diet, and he said, Ronnie's facial expression was just confused, like, well, you never never put a cheat into the diet. You didn't write that on the paper I followed. Where other people are, they get hungry and they start craving stuff, and it don't matter what's written on the paper. But that singular focus where it's not even a thought process. And we trained with Steve Kukla today, and I remember he had that same thing. First diet he did together after the show, because I worked him really hard. It was his first show. He started from a non-bodybuilding off season. He started from eating like a normal teenager body fat percentages, and needed to get in shape in I think it was 8 weeks when he did his first show. Yeah. And so we were working him hard. And I remember asking him what about his cheats, and he said, he didn't cheat, and I'm like, come on, I want to hear the real story when you ate 3 large pizzas and ended up in the hospital with pancreatitis, like a normal person. Yeah. But no, he finally broke down. He said, there was a meal you told me to eat 10 almonds, and I had 11. And he was serious. That was his cheat. And he probably felt, that was his cheat. And that's a mental type thing that some people, it's not even, I don't even know if it's a mental toughness type thing, but it's a thought process, and I akin it to some people really don't have it. The people, how do you follow a diet? Because they don't want to. Well, I think I'm married. I got 3 jobs. I got 4 kids. There's not a single thing I do in my life that I want to do. I don't want to get up and go to work. I don't want to clean the house when I get home. I don't want to play Barbies. I don't want to mow the. Sometimes I don't want to. I want to do their hair, not play house. I want to comb the barber. I don't want to mow the lawn. And that's how most people, those things they accept. No one wants to get up and go to work, but it's not an option to them. They know they have to get up and go to work every day. And some people treat the diet the same way. They don't want to do it, but that's just it's not an option. But that's another form of genetics. Another form of genetics is the ability to eat and assimilate a large volume of good, clean food.
Basically, that unending appetite.
An enormous appetite.
Where you're just never full.
Yeah, and where I hear people, I hear all the time on the internet from guys who are coming up and they say, oh, bodybuilders eat like shit in the off season. You can't get big on chicken and rice. No, you can. And the top bodybuilders not only get big on chicken and rice, they have the type of appetite to get fat on chicken and rice. They can just eat an insane amount of food, and
assimilate it.
Yeah, and digest it well, assimilate, process it with no gut issues, and as far as from the bodybuilding perspective, that's the one you know, I look at myself.
That's the biggest one.
Yeah, But I look at myself pretty objectively, and as far as genetics go, that's the one gold genetic I got was eating. I can, you know, I could get fat on chicken and asparagus. eat, just not force feeding it, eating as much as I want to eat. I can eat a ton of food. I don't mind eating clean food, and most top guys have that. But there's other genetics. There's a type of genetics where, and if you've never seen this backstage competing, there's a weird thing that some bodybuilders have where you see them backstage and they are soft. You look like you could stick your finger 3 inches into their lower back, their skins, but something happens with a few sets of a pump up and under those stage lights where they become granite hard like magic.
That water just gets taken right into the muscle.
And not very many people have it, but the top guys have that. You know, someone like Ruli Winkler has that. My biggest thing was Ben White when I did the 2007 USA's. That was my first experience with that. Holy shit, how did that happen? You know, Ben stripped down, and I remember because he was kind of, I don't know if he was a favorite yet. He was still not quite known, but everyone kind of knew he was going to do the show. And he stripped down, and I remember that's where my finger reference comes from, because that was the pop in my head. I was like, oh my god, I could go to his love handles and squish 3 knuckles deep. He did 3 sets of curls, and suddenly the guy was, you know, built out of stone, and it blew my mind. You know, that's another form of genetics. Another form of genetics is being able to be injury free. You know, and I have that pretty well too.
Thick, strong joints.
Yeah, just
thick tendons.
Yeah, just they don't, you know, bulletproof. They're just thick, heavy. You know, and I think you look at Jose Raymond, and he has that look where you could tell that guy could be depleted and low on electrolytes and dehydrated and decide to do a max bench and have zero risk of a pec tear. I mean, just, you know, some guys, Steve Kukla has the same thing. Just, you know, that overall thickness and just heavy built look to their build, and you know that's another thing. And another thing is being able to recover. The top guys, you know, even when they train their ass off, don't get very sore. They don't. You know, most guys, they go. You try to train with a top bodybuilder like that, they can't move the next day. Well, you know, I can't remember what top guy I talked to. Well, no, Ronnie Coleman. He said someone asked him one time, you know, like a seminar, how long? Because his workouts are crazy, you know. And this is after putting out one of his videos where he's doing his insane lifts, and he trains everything twice a week, and he's doing these lifts that would cripple most people. And someone asked Ronnie, you know, how long does it take you to recover from a workout? Well, most people think like, well, I get a little sore the next day. The day after is usually the worst. And by 4 days later, I'm not very sore anymore. Well, Ronnie kind of sat and thought, and serious, not deadpan, no thought of this is going to be a joke in his mind at all. He said, about 4 hours. And he doesn't. I mean, that's it. He does those workouts. He doesn't get sore. Not only does he not get sore, 4 hours later he could be back in the gym doing those same workouts. And then finally, probably, honestly, the nice thing about bodybuilding genetics, if you're one of the young guys coming up, is I think this is the least important. Is the top bodybuilders, they weren't the skinny weak kid in high school. They were the ones that people were already asking if they were competitive bodybuilders before they touched a weight. Right. And I keep mentioning Steve because we trained with him today. Steve Kukla was that too. Living in an apartment in Detroit. My wife and I were recently married, getting ready. We're going to do the Mr. Michigan. And Steve Kukla, somehow, he met someone at the Arnold who knew me and knew that I coached people. So Steve comes over to my apartment, and I still remember he's got a printout from a computer from bodybuilding.com, a folded piece of paper, and this kid walks in, 220 with abs, 17 years old, and I'm thinking like, oh God, how long is this? You know, this guy's been training since when, you know? And he's showing me his paper. He's like, yeah, I wanted to do a contest. I printed this out. It says, you know, you need to eat a lot of chicken. And I'm like, you know, how many guys out there, how many guys on the boards listing crazy cycles and have been doing this for years aren't 220 lean? Yeah. You know, this kid's barely driving, you know. He got his first pubes.
I'm
3 years before that.
Fat right now.
Yeah, and that's what. Those are genetics. You know, you see Ronnie Coleman in 10th grade. They show that picture every once in a while from an old Flex magazine. Ronnie Coleman's ripped, which is another thing, eating pizza and whatever kids eat, and he's shredded, he's got biceps. And I mean, those are all the kind of the things with genetics. So when you say one thing with genetics, I think people probably mostly think shape maybe, but there's a whole wide range of genetics, and no one really puts it all together. Probably the only one who was able to put it all together was Ronnie, which is why he was so amazing. Another one was maybe Jay Cutler had most of them, especially the eating thing. You know, he ate a ton of food and was able to process it.
Well, and someday they're going to figure this out. They're going to figure out what each genome does and phenotype and all that type of stuff. But you know, because there's those kids or those people that you're around, they can eat whatever the fuck they want. I mean, pizza all day long, yeah. Everything else, and they don't gain any fat. But usually the people who have those type of genetics can't gain an ounce of muscle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then the other people who have the appetite, if they eat pizza, they would be fat.
Yeah.
So it's you know, I feel like the bodybuilding gods are kind of laughing a little bit at like, you know, the
it's rare to find
what gets passed out.
Someone like a Jay Cutler or someone who has the ability to eat a ton of calories without getting fat, who also has the appetite to eat the amount of clean calories.
So the point of this video is, if you're a guy who can put on muscle great but are fat, you need to marry a girl who cannot put on an ounce of fat and eat whatever she wants, and vice versa. And that way your kids can grow up to be poor bodybuilders.